Anyways, let's bring in Chris Maduka, who would review some of the headlines on our dailies this morning. Chris, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Charles. Good morning, Gozi. And good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, the world. We thank God for another day, and this is signature morning. Well, we talk about certain things, and we say Chris Maduka will review. Some of these things are straight fact. I don't know what Chris Maduka will do. If 21 tanker drivers, fuel tanker drivers died in Southeast during the last 1 year, what killed them? Was it that the tankers had accident, exploded, and the fire engulfed them? Is it that some people deliberately will go and get the drivers, kill them? Is it that these drivers are high on some substance and they carry almost bomb, and they get involved in some activities that will destroy the life of so many people? Is it that some of these drivers are so stubborn because they are controlling the vehicles of some big Nigerians who are into oil and gas business, that they will pass on local governments and they will not stop for certain authorities, either for local government internal revenue generation, because most of the states generate revenues from these mobility traffic that pass across the state. There must be cause. But the way they will paint it is like tanker drivers have gotten involved in being killed in any of these activities I've mentioned in all over Nigeria, not Southeast. I'm not here to defend any region of the world, but there are certain things you hear and they registered very negatively in the mind of people. And we stand here to say, for whatever cause that people are dying because they are not either their mistakes or anything, nobody has right to kill anybody. Whoever is getting involved in killing people knows that the law will catch up with that person, either here or hereafter. And what we are saying is that there is no need. That's why I said Nigerians, there's a lot of things we tell ourselves about this, the one Nigeria, one Nigeria. But when the chips are down, you recoil and say, do we really mean what we say? Or we just say it for saying sake? These drivers are human beings. They are somebody's husbands, somebody's children, somebody's, they have blood running in their vein, and they deserve to live a good life. But then remember, the legendary proverb of Ebo Belu Gobelu, let the tanker drivers allow the people to also live. The roads are not meant for them alone. And you can see in some of the activities on the road that they are really, really stubborn and they don't care. They care less about the life of people. When they're on top of those trucks, every other thing looks like ants. And they navigate without control. You'll be on the road, you see all these people who are put by the states to stop these tankers for revenue. You see how they struggle on the road, that somebody threatening to run over everybody. You don't know where to do. And these are the same country. We have various rules and regulations and laws governing. So if we can say, go back to regional government, let every region get itself. So if you are moving across region, you go and be tutored what you do in that region to go and come out safely. Nigerians travel abroad to certain countries. They go there, they fall in line with all the laws of those countries. It's in this place that if you are coming from probably Anambra and you are going to Imo, you are going with the impression that you are from Anambra. You go to Imo, you don't obey what the Imo state government has put in place, and you think we'll have peace. You will not, because the young man whose his parents sent to go and to rob will break doors with his legs. If any government sets some people on the road to work for them, they are empowered. So they go ahead, start enforcing those laws. Along the line, we will discuss on this desk the implementation of laws in Nigeria without human face. Some people because they've been asked to. Some people because they've been contracted by the states to generate the revenue, and they pay the state ahead of time. they give you one express road and say collect revenue on this express road, pay government 500 million. You will go and borrow money from bank and pay government ahead of time. You now mount your army on that road to kill and destroy to get back 500 million with margin for your own sake. This is the same country where such thing happen. So it's just unfortunate we are addressing, starting with that. Senate tackles Saraki and vows not to reward falsehood. This means that the distinguished Senate has already taken a stand. The headline said, Senate tackles Saraki. And this Saraki has been the former Senate president of Nigeria, who looked at the whole critical situation and said, it is better these two senators remove who is his president or what. Let them submit themselves for fair investigation and trial. Already the Senate has come up and then tackles Saraki for saying what he feels that will solve that problem. Something is wrong.
No, I mean, it's not like former Senate President Senator Saraki is a saint. While he was president of the Senate, he also had his own issues. You cannot be outside and then tell the Senate President to resign, to step down, and for probe to happen.
No, he said submit to. I didn't hear the angle of resign. Others ones are people adding. Saraki said submit yourself for investigation. If you people, other people have said resign, everybody will resist resign. But let me start from your point. Let all Nigerian innocent angels keep them one side. Give them voice to talk. Carry all the devils, put them one side, seal their mouth, let them not say anything. That's we achieve peace. Is that what you are talking about? Charles, as one of the angels in Nigeria, we have given the license to comment on any issue in Nigeria. Let the devils like us keep quiet. Saraki has never come out to say, I am an angel. And as angel, with the powers conferred on me by God, as angel Saraki, I am now passing judgment. He said, that's what I suggest. And people are attacking him. Do you think in a sane society you will tackle a former Senate president? But they said tackles. You only engage him and said, sorry, sir. We feel that when your suggestion is not taken, that's dialogue. But if it's tackle, that means something you are tackling him to keep quiet, and then you go about with this. This has not, for me, remember everybody is saying this is a review according to Chris Maduka. So you put all the views to me. As far as I'm concerned, the distinguished Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has positioned themselves subjectively. They've not given people room to comment on the situation. That is boiling and taking different dimensions. It has gone to domestic angle. The husband of Natasha is already opening up. The wife of the Senate president is already going to court with 250 billion suit. And you think that's what Nigerians will sit back and watch? When somebody wants to put mouth to suggest how a way forward, you will tackle him. Chance, something is wrong. And then, remember, no two wrongs can make a right. So you better start taking a stand to solving one wrong and not looking at whoever is talking about it. So, Saraki, as far as I'm concerned, is not the worst of all the ex people who have been in position of authority in Nigeria, and he still may have the right to speak on issues. He has not even been speaking for long. So why should you come and suggest what should be done here and people start attacking him? If you think he's wrong, call to order, call for probe, call for arrest. EFCC is there. So it's not in your position. There are people positioned to do that. If they think Saraki cannot talk and speak again in Nigeria, let him come out. So we are not talking from the angle of the angels against the devil.
But what do you think about that particular issue?
The issue, I've said this several times, the issue is messy, and it's getting messier every day.
Messy in what sense? Because, I mean, at the last count is still an allegation. There was no concrete evidence.
That is why I'm saying allegations is what is making it messy. And the way this are, nobody is like, if I accuse you and you are top, a lecturer and a girl, who said the girl said the lecturer is asking me to make him happy. And until you prove that, it become an allegation. That's what we are saying. Are we going to sweep the allegation on the ground and have peace? Are we going to suggest that we settle this once and for all, either in the court or outside the court, closed door, and sit down to talk to ourselves as mature human beings? Because nobody is an island and nobody is a saint. It's one we recognize. Probably you may have misunderstood. There were old videos of where the Senate president has been making apologies to everybody. Some people think he's making it resurfaced, and some people think it's current. But it's not. It's an old. Meaning this case, this issue between Natasha and Saraki, and Akpabio has lasted for over 2 years, and people sat back there watching it.
No, I mean the old video that is in circulation was about some few months back, I think 6 or 7 months ago, when she won in court. And the very first day that she stepped into the court, she wanted to speak. Babio says, you can't speak on the first day. You don't have the rule book.
The ground rules.
Read the rule book to even speak.
Do you judge somebody who has not said anything?
No.
And
there's a rule that you have.
Which rule? So why did he come out after to apologize?
Hold on. No, wait. Let me tell you.
But the Senate president apologized that what he did was wrong.
I'm giving you background on why he apologized.
Go ahead.
So, after then, when she raised up her hands, he said, the Senate president said, look, this, I'm sorry, Natasha, we have rules and regulations here, and this is not a clubhouse. All right? This is not a clubhouse. And because of that, that went viral, that he's intimidating her. Why would we be mentioning that it's not a clubhouse? And then the event that followed afterwards, many women group came out. They started sending messages to him, to his wife, and then the following plenary session, he came out and said he has four daughters. There's no way he would have said that to disparage her. It's just something that happened that he mentioned, and you cannot now say, oh, that he's bringing her down by saying that it's a club, that he apologized for what happened. Beautiful. It is not about harassment.
Nobody said harassment here. I said if you're apologizing for one fault at a certain point, then means you recognize that in your position, certain things are demanded of you. You are not allowed to make mistakes to apologize. Meaning that if you have made that mistake of making some flippant comments as Senate President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, and some people come out and challenge you to that, you should watch your step further, especially with that particular Senate. But this is how it's snowballed into even saying the woman coming out openly to say the Senate President want to sleep with her. Because you saw it coming and you played down on it. And probably from your high level of authority, you still see that this thing will not bring you down. There are small axes that can bring down big Iroko by cutting it down small.
But we've also seen people who play into the gallery, who just decide that this is the only way to bring this man down by saying.
Now, if you notice that
the story that she has told so far doesn't prove she has any evidence.
If you know that, and you are high level of authority, knowing that nobody wants you alive, actually, who loves you? Who is there to love you? Even the 109 senators, if they so much love the Senate president, why have they come out to bundle Natasha out? If you think that would be the best way to solve it, meaning that everything has rule, even madness. So you don't have a right to sit down there and see something coming to bring you down. No matter what you think, you have to keep explaining to only 7 billion people who live on earth that you are right on this issue. So your right as a manager is to manage well the Senate. Whatever is going to make you fail, you find a way around it. And don't come back and fail and give me excuses. That's my stand.
And you're right about this whole thing getting messier by the
That's
way.
it.
The Senate president's wife suing Natasha.
So
and then the
women from Akwa Ibom are getting involved. The next thing, the women from Kogi will get involved.
And Delta State,
and then,
where she is
so when it gets to that, some people say, why should the women in Akwa Ibom be bought? You guys, when you are making comments, say there might be rented crowds. You rent a crowd of women to go and fight your fellow women, and you say you are fighting gender and gender equity or equality and social inclusion in Nigeria. This country is confused.
I just feel that she's playing to the gallery, frankly speaking.
Well, that's your opinion.
It started from just
somebody can play to the gallery to bring you down.
To change your seat from changing your seat to you have been vilified, you have been not taken care of. That from then to sexual harassment.
Beautiful.
It doesn't make sense.
As far as you're concerned, you have to go and tell his husband and the husband of Natasha that is not making sense.
Fabio to go ahead
and do what?
And go to that court she has sued him to. Go to that court. Let her bring that proof. That is if he's not guilty. Except he's guilty. Then he should go to that court. Let's go to the court. Yes.
Now remember, there's no how you put your hand into your nyash and not smash it.
Remember, there's another.
You say how? I should explain this proverb to you.
There's another story from another woman from the past about the same sexual harassment, and she is at the time someone who was highly placed in government. I've forgotten the position she held.
A former NDDC boss.
There were even 5 women. There are stories that I've seen 5 women have issues of sexual harassment
without proof.
Well, I don't know what you mean by proof.
How can you just say
they cannot come in the open and say somebody harassed them without having something they want?
People do it. People come out and say they have been harassed.
Charles,
just to put Charles, they do it.
Charles, how many women do you have in your house?
Oh God.
You have a wife? You have a daughter? One day, let's pray that your daughter will not come out and say this and say bring proof. Let nothing like that happen. What we are saying is that don't give room in your position as a man to that portion, because the thing build up to that isn't because of one reason or another. There must be ego playing out. There must be some personal attitude. There must be some emotion and sentiment, which women know how to play most on. We all Nigerians we are wives, and some of them people have their side chicks and concubines. Most of them, even in authority in the Senate, control this first set of women. They have children who are girls, grown up. They have wives. They have side chicks. They have concubines. When they put them together and they cannot manage Natasha, something is wrong. That's my position. Remember, I'm not siding anybody to go and come up with. I'm saying the buck still stops on the desk of the Senate President to handle this matter the way it will not snowball into what is happening in Nigeria, because it's a distraction. We have issues that are serious to settle. I'll go to the distinguished Senate to be talking about making me happy or not making me happy without our expense. It is annoying. And you want me to come here to start talking about it and justifying what? The Senate should sort this out quick enough and go back. Otherwise, it will snowball. Hunger and hardship enter sexual abuse, make me happy. It can turn sour. And only God knows. Whatever you think only God knows. Like I gave you a proverb, you say, what does that mean? Better go to dictionary of proverbs to know that when you put your hand back there, you must smell something. No man is an island, no man is an angel. And if somebody has been planning for you to fail, it's like they say they will burn you and you go and use fuel to bath. Thank you.
I'm also thinking, I'm wondering how other
NLC protests. Forget about that. All this our thinking will not work out. If the Senate don't want to handle that, let them allow it, go to court. You say they should go to court. They will abandon the Senate procedures, go to court to defend 250 billion and 100 billion. And that's what we sit down to watch. That's what we pay them to go and do. NLC threatening protests over telecom and electricity tariff hike. Don't you think they should go and rest and stop these threats? All their threats over time has not worked. They've settled for 35%. Labour has settled for 35%. I was supporting them before. They settled for 35% and call off the strike. Why now? Why all this threat and threat? Is it to sell newspaper? Who is threatening who and what? What will happen is that since threats has not worked, let us sit back. Anything that is in Nigeria you can afford to have, you pay. Most of us are packed our vehicles. Nobody is talking about hiking fuel. So the ones who can afford are buying. When it gets to telecom, the ones who can afford it, use it. I must not use phone.
You must.
Who said?
Giving you assignments, Mr.
Who said?
You.
When you give me assignment and I cannot afford with it, unless you give me assignment, you give me the tool. If you give me assignment, I'll use my phone to work for the assignment. God forbid. At this high cost. You don't understand where this is going. He has to close down. No, listen, it get worse before it get better. That means if I can't do it, the only thing you sack me now, because I can't afford to use my phone, that is sack me. You have to sack so many people. So the ones who can afford it gets the job. And Nigeria continue. Remember what I'm saying. This hike has not even come. Remember, at a point, I talk about hike. It looked like hiking is a native of Chris Maduka village. Then I said, make the fuel price 5,000. They've not obeyed me. I'm waiting. This electricity, they are just talking. They can just make it 10,000 naira per unit and go to telecom. They were saying 16 naira. Why? Can he do them? Make it, start making 100 naira, 200 naira. Hey, go to data, make it 1,000 naira. Then that's when we know there's a hike. All this small hike and are discussing trouble. Hike it once, and you will not hike again forever. Welcome to Hike, Nation of Hikes. Charles, chairman of hiking. Let's go. Hike. Why are we wasting time? Nigeria, hike. Take the result of hike to your grave. Protest in Jos over killing of tractors. We have talked about that. They live where they've been killed and when they protest in Jos. Is it not killing flies on your leg to go to somebody's leg to scatter the thing? If the Southeast have governance system, there should be a protest, a petition to this, and they say what has been happening. And those people, if you are a mother that has a cappy, that long-mouthed rat, cut the mouth. Let okay not deliberately go and chop the bag of a native doctor, and let the native doctor not deliberately go and remove the teeth of rat. Let the kite perch, let the eagle perch. But whoever want to say no one should perch, let him wings scatter. That is my policy. I don't know what to believe. All the story of letting show him where to, why going to the issue of showing him? Since you think that nobody should perch, let you fly forever. No tree to if your wings scatter, I wonder where you're going to fly. Because it's wickedness. Live and let live. You think because you are weak, you are talking for the point of violence is not the monopoly of anybody. I am not calling for one. But when you push me to the level where violence is the only thing I can afford, all die be die. Fubara to implement Supreme Court verdict over LG chairman, and people are getting worried. The young man said, well, Supreme Court, I will obey you because I don't have a choice. But he has made some statements. Since you have annulled my elections and I do this, then there's no need to continue being there. We have to repeat the local government council election, and then we do it all over. Well, that's what he said, and I think the producers are getting worried that our time is up. So let us call it a quit today and continue another day. Nigerian wahala, not the finish.